Good morning. Thank you for showing up today in the rain. First off, I have a couple things. I have snacks, right? So I have 2 boxes of snacks. I'm going to start one here. There's plenty for everybody to have one of each. These are little mini Warrior bars. So they're like this, like 3 bites, 2 different flavors. So I'll start one box here, and I'll start one box there, and then you can just pass it around. There's, like I said, there's plenty for everyone to have one of each. And there might even be some leftovers. Here we go. Help yourself. Everything we make at Be Free is gluten, dairy, and soy free. We use really simple plant-based ingredients. So if you have any food allergies, certainly look at the ingredient label, but you can guarantee that we are a real food ingredient company, no gluten, dairy, or soy, or junk, as we like to say. Also, if anybody wants to be included on our email list, we offer recipes, coupons, news, just super positive, empowering information. So if you want to add your email and name to this, I'll pass that around as well too. You'll need to use both sides. So, okay, so I gathered a little PowerPoint presentation. It's mostly for me to keep on track, right? So also, it gives you something else to look at besides me. So I will just go ahead and dig in here, and this is really going to be, our time together is really going to be geared towards the Be Free story, some leadership insights that I've learned along the way, and then lots of time for questions and anything else you'd like to add, or if there's something specific that you want me to dig into, plenty of time to do that as well, okay? So this is a story of a promise keeper, a joy seeker, and a problem solver. And this is a photo here of me and my oldest son, Augie. Augie is a Ball State graduate. 2020, he graduated here after a 7-year journey in college. So, all along the way, this is for his undergrad. So he's on the autism spectrum. All along, you know, he's so focused and so oftentimes beating himself up about how long it's taking him to finish college. But in the grand scheme of things, no one is ever going to ask you how many years it took you to graduate college. All they really need to know, did you start, did you finish? Did you finish what you started? So we're super proud of him that he was able to complete that monumentous achievement. So just a little overview on our time together. I'll share a little bit about the Be Free story, talk about building a business, some teaching moments, and Q&A. So I mentioned earlier, I'm a problem solver, and these are here just a few little pictures of me, various points along the journey. Am I right in your way? So sorry. Okay, and so just, you know, a couple little glimpses of me in the early days. So Be Free got started as a company in 2010. And so prior to that, we were making things in our kitchen, in a rented kitchen, and this actually, the picture on the very far corner with the arrow pointing to a leaf blower. So this is actually in our garage. This is like way back in 2008, so I don't think I can get in trouble for that now. But you know, in creating a product or creating a company or something that you want to share with the world, oftentimes you have to do things that are risky, and sometimes you just got to figure things out. So this is a flour mixer that I'm standing next to, and the only space we had to put it in was our garage. So trust me, it was totally food safe, but that was something that, you know, we just had to figure out. Part of leadership along the way is you just figure things out, right? You decide that there's something that you want to solve. There's an issue with something out there in the world, and you have an idea of how you can make it better, or value that you can bring to the world with a different product or a different service. So Be Free comes to life after a couple years of doing some farmers markets, and then just really experimenting in my own kitchen with our own community. Started with my family. And so these are just some of the early pictures along the way. You'll see that the whole family is in the kitchen. This is a rented kitchen in downtown Noblesville, which is our hometown. And we've got everybody doing something. So our boys, from a very young age, they're men now, they're ages 23 to 28, but from a young age, they saw that my husband and I were leading by example. So we were showing that you could be a problem solver and that you could dig in and figure things out on your own. And it often wasn't popular. It often took a lot of hard work, always takes a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, but they've seen pretty much their whole entire life that if you want something, you gotta roll up your sleeves and go do it. So I like to say for me that I am kind of a quiet leader, and that I'm not my personality isn't real loud and boisterous and look at me. I don't really like the attention on me, but what I feel like I have done and what I've shared with my family and others is that I've just led by example, and that doesn't always have to be really loud and boisterous. And then just a farmer's market picture in the middle, and then just a couple other examples of some of our growth. And then, I just really started knocking on doors. I realized that after we did farmers markets that I had a product that people wanted. There's a big demand for it in the marketplace. We're talking about specifically gluten-free foods back in 2008 and 2009 when gluten-free was not very popular. Does anybody live a gluten-free lifestyle? Anybody? Hand up? Nope. Anybody know what gluten-free is? Yes. Gluten, for those who don't know, is the protein commonly found in wheat, barley, and rye. And so if you look at a lot of the manufactured foods in the United States especially, it's really hard to find something without those three things. So gluten-free has not always been super popular or very easy. It's much easier now because people like me and lots of other companies have figured things out, and we've decided that we can do better for the world. Like, the world needs really good, delicious tasting food that's made with simple ingredients that nourish your body and your soul. So that's really what we're focused on. And just a variety of pictures here again of, of different growth parts of our company. Originally, I started with that little turquoise tub of products, and that's what I would take to deliver my orders. That's how we started. And today, you can see a picture of me down here at the corner in the Walmart home office. So today, semi-trucks come to our loading dock and pick up pallets of product and send it out to grocery stores all over the country. So that certainly didn't come without some growing pains, and we still are going through growing pains at every different step in our company. There are growing pains that are associated with that. So it's part of being an entrepreneur and being a leader is being flexible and learning to kind of roll with the punches. And when you have a down day, it's a down day. It happens, right? The next day probably won't be so down. And so we were self-funded up until 2 years ago, where we were able to partner with some investors who financially have invested into our company, but also emotionally and guidance-wise, they've been really impactful to us, and they've been really great resources and a really strong connection to why we've been able to grow so much in the last couple years. We've been strapped for capital because in the consumer packaged goods company, or industry, consumer packaged goods is also known as CPG. It is very, very capital intensive because if you think about a product that needs to go on a grocery store shelf, you have to produce it, which means you have to pay for all the raw ingredients. You have to pay for the manufacturing or the people who make it. You have to pay for the packaging. You have to transport it. And then there are lots of fees and other things that are associated with the retailer that you're going to put your product on their shelf. So all that has to happen before you get paid. So think about that. It's a lot of money. It's very, very labor intensive, very capital intensive. And so we have been strapped for capital for a long, long time. And also, none of our team, I don't come from a food background. I have a degree from Ball State in fashion merchandising and marketing, but certainly don't have the education or even the background for a food business. But and neither does my team. But what I have been able to do is build a team around me that is very passionate, that have the strengths that I don't have. They complement my weaknesses. And so what we have craved for a really long time was kind of the insider insights. We really were like, gosh, how are all these other brands doing this? How are they getting all these wins? How are they getting in all these retail stores? And how are they creating products so quickly, so effortlessly, so on point? And why are we struggling so much? So we sought after some experience. We wanted to be connected with the pros, like who are the best of the best, how are they learning, where are they? And we found that with a program called SKU. And it is a program that is designed for emerging brands. And we were able to get into the program. And I think there were like 5,000 applicants, and we were 12 of those 5,000 that were able to participate. And it was so valuable for us as a company, for us individually. We did a deep dive every week for 12 weeks on different elements of our business and different aspects of our personality. So think about that. That was pretty intense. I'm already feeling like, I don't know, maybe I'm not cut out for this. I don't have X, Y, and Z, and yet I've been in my company and at the helm of our company for 12 years. That was 2 years ago. And so all these questions, but what SKU did was equipped me with the connections that I needed to learn that would help me open doors, that would help me overcome some fears and some limitations that I was having so that I could push our company forward. So also part of being a leader, I feel like, is making yourself vulnerable, right? Being really crystal clear on what your strengths are, but also what your weaknesses are. And that's really, I feel like, where the magic happens, when you can really dial in to your weaknesses and be okay saying, look, I am not a very organized person. It's true, I'm really not. So I need to build my network around me, my support people that are around me. They need to be uber organized. And once you can dial in all those things, then you can hire to your weaknesses, and then you have this amazing team that really serves each other really well. And then so we were connected or partnered with 9 mentors from all different industries. One of ours is a buyer for Hershey's. Somebody else was from Pepsi. Another was a marketing guru. So we just was really super insightful and really, really helped propel our business into the next phase. Our team was, really stretched too. We're a small, scrappy team, We've been at this for 14 years, but still, we're scrappy. We're really particular about where we spend our dollars because we don't have a ton of extra money to spend, and so we have to be really critical about where we spend all those dollars. And then so this led us to our investor pitch, and I mentioned a little bit ago that we were successful in gaining some investors. So a little bit about kind of the backstory of Be Free and our product. I put some of our products up here for anybody who wants to take a look. This is what our product looks like. Maybe you've seen it on a grocery store shelf. Comes in a couple different, 5 different flavors, but a couple different sizes as well. And then we have the new little mini bar as well too. But so the problem that we identified early on was that there was a gap in the marketplace. What we were told was healthy wasn't really that healthy when we really looked closer and we looked at the ingredients on some of the labels for other snackable types of granola. We realized a lot of them are made with really cheap fillers, tons of sugar, a lot of artificial ingredients, and I just wasn't really interested in feeding my family that, and I realized there were a lot of other people that didn't want that either. So we created our solution, which was Boyer Snack Mix. Plant-based, gluten and grain-free, no refined sugars, nothing artificial, and then you see our certifications there in the center. Those third-party certifications are really important to our consumers. And so although they are expensive, they're really meaningful, and it's really part of why our company has been able to continue to grow as well too, because we build trust with our consumer, and now people know that our product is gluten-free, and it really is what it says it is. And then, so today we have national distribution. This is just a little sampling of some of the retailers that you can find our product in all across the country. We're in every state, in regular retailers like Kroger, and then some of the big box stores like Costco, and OTG is the airport company. So we're in 9 airports, mostly on the East Coast, and then down to Houston and Indianapolis as well too. So you'll find us in Terminal B at the Indianapolis airport. If you're ever passing by and you need a snack, you can purchase our Warrior Snack Mix there, as well as our little mini bars. And we're also part of Indiana Grown, which is an initiative from the Indiana State Department of Agriculture. That came to Indiana in about 2014, and we were just a really young 4-year-old company then, but we were one of their very first members, and it's been really fun to see that grow as well too. Lots of other brands joined right about the same time we did, and it's been really fun to see that grow. Some lessons learned along the way, so many, but building a business is a marathon. It's not a sprint. At least it hasn't been in my experience, and everybody has a different experience building a business or bringing a product or a service to market. For me, it's been a marathon, and once I really kind of got my hands around the fact that people don't always work on my timeline. Why is that? Right? People don't work on my timeline. And so I can want something as much as I can want something, and I can have everything laid out so that in my eyes, it's a no-brainer. And if you just said yes, as my buyer, we could make this happen, and things would run smooth, and my world would be oh so different. But the hardcore reality is everyone has their own agenda, and it's not mine. And so being patient and being persistent have been lessons that I have been able to fine-tune over the years. And then also, perfection is death. And what I mean by that is so many times we have an idea or somebody else has an idea, and they wait until everything is absolutely perfect. And by that time, sometimes somebody else beats you to it, right? So I've always had this sense of urgency that if I didn't bring this product to market, somebody else was. Because somebody else is out there working just as hard as I am to get my product on a grocery store shelf. And if I don't do everything I can do within my power to make it happen, somebody's gonna beat me. And I want it to be me, I wanna win. So I say that just do it. If you have a product or an idea or a service to put out into the world, get your product, your passion and your mission and your capacity, get those 3 things in place, and then put it out there and just get started. Just get started. If you're not embarrassed by the first thing you ever put out into the marketplace, you probably waited too long. I didn't say that, I borrowed that from somebody, but I really feel like that's true. And then handshakes are golden. We all in this room have survived COVID. We've all seen and felt what it's like to be isolated. And now that we're able to go out in public, be face to face, shake hands, all those social things that we couldn't do 4 years ago, it's vitally important that we get back to being personal, that we get back to relationships that are face to face. There's nothing that compares. There's no replacement for that. There's just none. And so I would encourage anytime you have a chance to shake somebody's hand, to meet face to face, go the extra mile, take the extra effort that it takes to do that, because you will not be sorry. You just won't be sorry. I can't tell you how many times I have gotten in the car and driven 4 hours for a 10-minute meeting, and then got in my car and drove back home 4 hours. I've done that many times. And I can tell you from experience that those things are memorable. People know, they're like, you drove 4 hours to see me? I'm like, yeah, I did, because you know what? There's no replacement for this, none. We can do Zoom, we can do a phone call, there's no replacement for it. And it has really, it's been impactful for our business. And then find things to be memorable so that sets you apart. There's so much competition out there, right? There's so many things, but nobody has what you have. Everybody has their own unique special gift. Nobody has exactly what you have. And so finding ways that you can be memorable to whoever you're trying to lead or pitch your product to, that will serve you well. And then just remember that you are warrior strong. We all have warrior spirit inside of us. It's either out there, loud and proud, or if it's in there somewhere that isn't very visible, it's in there. So I would say that just know that you are warrior strong and so much stronger and tougher than you ever imagined. And then I wanted to kind of just wrap up my PowerPoint presentation with a picture of Augie in the red plaid jacket, and then two of our workers that he helps lead. This was from the farmer's market last year. We decided to do the farmer's market in Noblesville last year for the first time in 10 years. We did farmers markets at the very beginning, right, of our company to kind of test our products and stuff. And then we stepped away from that and really focused on building retail. And last year we got back into the farmers market scene, and I think we're probably going to be there and forever. I'm just going to say because it was really impactful for us. And it also, it offered August a chance to be visible in his community, leading a team of young adults with autism. And that was really powerful. We were very well received. And so one of the skills and the gifts that August has is he's on the autism spectrum. And so he has a unique perspective of how other people with autism, how they feel, how they navigate a job, how they interact in social situations. Clearly not everyone is, everyone is different, obviously, but even just having that autism name connected, to your name, that's weighty, that's super weighty. And so he has this amazing gift of connecting with our team of young adults with autism. So we have a nonprofit called Be Free Bakes that we formed a year ago, and it is our autism job training center. So aside from creating a product to put into the marketplace that is tasty, that's gluten-free, that fills a need that's missing in the marketplace, we're super passionate about changing lives of people on the autism spectrum. The hardcore fact is there are between 80 and 85% of people with autism are either un or underemployed. That's a big number. And so having a business and not doing something about that was just not going to be it for me. So we decided to form a nonprofit organization called Be Free Bakes, and we did that as a way so that other corporations and other people who want to help support us, they can do that a little easier because it's a nonprofit. And we also, and nonprofit too doesn't mean that we don't pay our people. I think there's some misunderstanding there when people say, oh, I have a nonprofit. Well, we pay our people competitive wages. That's what this is all about. So with the unemployment rate for people with autism, we want to be a change maker in that. We want to be able to bring potential employees into our facility that are on the autism spectrum, train them with meaningful job skills. Many of them come to us and they've never had a job before. They might be 19 or 25 and they've never worked before. They've never earned a paycheck before, mostly because they needed something a little special, right? And those things that are a little special often don't cost extra money. They just take somebody to notice that you need something a little different. You might need a few more breaks. You might need to sit You might need a quiet environment. You might need to wear earphones. You might need to have some space. There's just all these things that don't cost any money. All they take is someone to notice and pay attention. And so that's the environment that we're creating. And we're equipping these young adults with job skills so that they can either stay with us if they choose, or they can go out into the workplace and get the job of their dreams. But now they have a skill set. Like before, they were totally unemployable because you have no skill set, you maybe didn't finish high school, you don't have X, Y, and Z, you don't look very good on paper. So the things that we're really after is being a positive change in our community. And this is one way we can do it. And then once we get really good at it in Noblesville, then our plan is to take it to other communities throughout the country. All the while we're partnering with some of our retail partners like Kroger and Costco, that they all have diversity initiatives as well too. So our plan is to train to their specifications. So we will train them, we will give them up to you with their ServSafe certification, which is a recognizable certification for people who want to work in food. And then if there are other certifications or other skill sets that they want their potential employees to have, we can address those and train them so that when they leave us, there you go, Kroger. There's your employee trained just to your specifications, ready to walk into your bakery and start decorating cakes or X, Y, or Z, right? So that's the idea. And then with our experience and our ability in working with this select group of employees, let's face it too, there's 1 in 39 Americans are diagnosed with autism. So it's not a small number. So people with autism are in every community, and they need a chance, and they need someone to reach their hand out and say, here we are, if you want to come and have a chance at earning a paycheck, belonging to a community, having some social interaction, here we are, come try us out. So August is our team lead. He has a degree from Ball State in broadcast journalism with a sports emphasis. He's the sports nut. I mean, he is just a sports encyclopedia. Football and basketball are his two passions. He graduated during COVID, and so the internships and the job opportunities were not there because sports were not happening. We weren't, having live games and those kind of things. So he has a really critical, important job with Be Free, working as our team lead for our farmers market and our Wednesday team, and we have some other really exciting projects that we're working on. One is a cafe that we're going to be bringing to Noblesville, and it's really super exciting because we have partnered with the city of Noblesville and the state of Indiana for funding, and we have a lot of other pieces in the play that right at the beginning we're equipped for success. So it has a trailhead element to it too, so it'll be in a super active, vibrant part of the city. So if anybody is going to be in Noblesville, we're probably looking at next spring, Q1, Q2 maybe, to be fully operational. So you can stay if you sign up to be on our website, or you can just check in with us anytime and kind of learn about the progress of that project. And maybe you'll stop by and see us, or maybe you'll want a job and we could, employ you. We have our part of our initiative too with our jobs is it's a 50-50, so we need 50% in order to get funding from the state and some other organizations. 50% of our job force needs to be some kind of a disability, some kind of a disability that an employee would disclose, and the other not. So it's 50-50, so it's an integrated atmosphere. So, we'll be hiring for all kinds of positions. So with that, I think you can tell I'm really super proud of August. A lot of leadership, qualities that he had that he didn't know he had until he kind of just put them into play, and now he's just a natural. He has some experience coaching. He's just a natural coach, and this job as a manager or their team lead is really a coaching position. He's really coaching, and he's just naturally leading people and guiding people along a pathway for success. So I would love to answer any questions or dig deeper into any topic that anybody's interested in. I'm happy to answer any questions. And feel free to eat your snacks. Like, you can open the wrapper and that doesn't bother me. So have your snacks while we're talking if you like. Yes.
So obviously this project in business is something that you're very closely tied to and very passionate about. So I'm just wondering when building your team, how did you seek out people who shared the same passion, or weed out people who weren't as committed or bought into what you were doing this year?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Part of it, I'm just gonna say part of it was luck. But I really believe that you meet the people that you meet for a reason. I feel like there really are no accidents, but really being intentional, to answer your question, really being intentional about the qualities in the person that I was looking for. Somebody who values family, somebody who isn't afraid of hard work, somebody who might get dirty. You might, we're a small team, you might have to help unload a truck. I'm just saying, that's just part of it. And so I feel like just being realistic about the qualities of the person that I was looking for, and and knowing that the types of jobs were going to be varied, and then certainly looking for somebody who has a skill set, but that's not always the number one thing for me. It often isn't. It's more about the person. It's more about what are you made of? Do you have, not everyone has to have a similar value, so don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I want all my employees to be like me. That's not it at all. But we do share a lot of the same core values, in that we're not afraid to work hard. We really value humans, right? We really value kindness, and we really want to take care of each other. So I would say those are the most important things, and the rest of it, most of the rest of it can be trained. Most of the rest of it can be taught, or we can, a lot of what we've learned over the years has been taught, and we've learned on the fly, and then dug deeper. We realized, so for example, we have our core team, there's 5 of us, 6 of us. There's 6. So there's me, I'm the face of the company, and I'm the sales and I'm in charge of sales. So, and then Michael, my husband, is he does all of our logistics, as well as our negotiations for our raw ingredients. So he purchases all of our raw ingredients, and then he coordinates with our bakery facility up in Michigan. They work on supply and demand and all those kind of things. So that's really kind of his jam. And then we have Katie, who does our marketing, as well as our fulfillment at our warehouse. And then we have an administrative assistant who fills in a lot of those pieces and does our order entry and our customer service. And then we have a bookkeeper as well. And then Augie is our team lead for our special projects and our farmers market. So small team, right? But Katie, for example, does our marketing. So she's in charge of our social media, our print materials, and anything else that would fall under marketing. But she also works in our warehouse. So she handles incoming and outgoing shipments. She makes sure that our Amazon fulfillment status is where it's supposed to be. And those are just some of the things she does. So a lot of those things, so she didn't start out with all of those responsibilities. We kind of have grown her into those as we realized, oh, you've got a skill set, right? You've got a skill set that we really need to capitalize on because you're really good at that. So some of it is we kind of have shifted, but those core values I feel like are really the most important thing. Anybody else? Yeah.
Could you tell us a little more about how you self-funded the business? Because I mean,
Yeah, fun stuff.
Sure.
Fun and scary all at the same time. Yeah. So the money that we that came in, we put right back into the company, right? So, yeah, we did that for a long time. And then also, there was a lot of different ways to build a business. There was a lot of different ways we could have done it. For us, this was the route that we took because I didn't want, I wasn't a candidate for a traditional loan. I just wasn't. I didn't have what they needed to get a traditional bank loan. So we had to look at alternative, outside of the box kinds of ways to bring more money into our company. And one of those was, there's a company called Bankable, and they're for people like me who didn't have all the qualifications that a bank needs for a loan. So they can do things with the SBA, and they have just more wiggle room. They can do some kind of alternative types of funding. So we did take out some small business loans through the help of Bankable. So that was definitely one way. And then, we're just always looking for, are there grants out there? Are there opportunities that we can get some free marketing? All those kind of things have played into our success over the years. And it kind of really just points to the fact too that when there's a will, there's a way. And I really truly believe that when there's a will, there's a way. You can figure out, if you're really passionate about something enough, you'll figure out a way to make it happen. So.
So I noticed that the flavors for your different products have names at the beginning. Could you tell us the significance behind that?
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I love when people notice that. So this is, so we are a family business, and one way we rebranded, a while ago, one of the ways that we really could help tell our story and be personal with our consumer is to attach a personal name to each of our flavors. So everybody's a family member of all of our packages. Clay is one of our sons. We have 4 sons. This is Clay's chocolate. And each really is kind of meaningful to their personality as well too. So Clay is a chocolate lover from birth, and his favorite color is green. So this is a tribute to Clay. Hagen's berry. Hagen, does anybody know Hagen Wiese? He's a student here. He's not in the business program, but he's a natural resource guy. So he's a current student here. Hagen's berry bomb. Hagen's our redhead, loves berries. This one's for him. This is Bob's salted caramel. This was my husband's dad. So this is Grandpa Bob. He loved anything salted caramel. It kind of went with his personality too. It was just, very, very sweet, but a little spicy too. Had kind of just a little bit of a spicy personality. Here's Augie's original. This is who V3 was created for. So we felt like it was just fit to give him the original name. And then May's apple pie. May was my grandmother, and she was the queen of apple pie. She took an apple pie everywhere she went. And so I think she'd be proud of this. So, and I know you're thinking, wait, you said you have 4 sons. We have Drake, who also is a student here. Drake Wiese. Anybody know Drake? No, he's an apparel design student. But his flavor is Drake's spicy chocolate. That's a seasonal flavor, so sadly I don't have any right now. But it's not that I'm playing favorites with my children, but the spicy chocolate is my favorite. So, yep. Yes?
Did you struggle in the beginning with people kind of like taking you seriously with like a fashion degree versus like working with food?
Yes, very much so, very much so. And also this is, the grocery industry has been starting to change, but the grocery industry predominantly forever has been very male dominated. And so being a woman in the very male dominated industry has its own challenges as well too. And I've had all of it. I mean, I've been laughed at by buyers who thought that I was just cute and didn't take me seriously, you know, and didn't really see that they thought gluten-free was a fad and that what I had was just, you know, they laughed at me, like literally laughed in my face. And so, you know, that's part of the overcoming thing too, right? I mean, I was just, like, I could have let that destroy me and, you know, I'm saying that hurt and that has stuck with me for a long time, but I'm bigger than any words that anybody can say to me because I'm on a mission. And I'm on a mission to be a change maker. And that changes, I want lives to be different for people that are often overlooked. And so you can call names or throw stones or whatever, but I'm on a mission. So yeah, but no, it has been very, very, very challenging for those kinds of reasons. But you know, gotta make your mark, right?
More. Sorry.
You're next. Go ahead.
If you had the opportunity to do it all again, what would you do differently?
I would have not wasted so much time worrying about what people thought about me. Yeah, in the early days, I'm way more confident than I was 10 years ago, 12 years ago, 14 years ago. So yeah, I would have, that would be it.
So the comment I was making, it just blows my mind how a male-dominated industry would not seek input from the female. I mean, who does?
Thank you.
You think? No, just thinking about this. Who does most of the shopping in the family?
Right?
I mean, in my
Traditionally.
traditionally, yes.
Mhm.
So I mean, with that kind of base,
Right.
why wouldn't they seek input from that side?
Right. Right. Especially a mom who's buying food for her family. Right.
It just blows my
But
mind.
there's, you know what? There's haters. There's haters. There just are, and there always will be.
Oh yeah.
Right? Always. But yes. But kind of right along that point too, I once did a presentation to a Costco buyer that has a deathly allergic reaction to coconut. No, and her responsibility is candy. Do you have any idea how much coconut is in the candy world? On a lot. Coconut is very, very, very common, either coconut oil or coconut flavoring, any of that. So she was buying for a category for Costco, for a whole division of Costco, that she couldn't even taste. She couldn't even taste it. She had to rely on her team and her assistant to taste it and decide whether they thought it was a product that Costco should handle. But she was the decision maker. So interesting, right? Like, that doesn't seem very smart to me. That seems like a bad decision. But I don't make those decisions, so. She actually wouldn't even let us open up the package in the room, because even if it was in the room and she smelled it or it got into the air, she could die. So I said, you know what? Not taking a chance with that. But they actually did buy our product. This is Costco in Texas a couple years ago. So it had a happy ending. How are we doing on time? Yeah.
So, I was thinking, there's just so many things that we've talked about throughout the semester that we're doing that you exemplify.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, where do I focus here? The first thing that stands out to me is mission focused and how important it is to know what your compass is. And people will catch that energy. By the way, follow Jennifer on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah,
Lots of
please
energy
do.
there.
Please do. Thanks.
You will appreciate it because you see someone who's passionate about what they're doing and pulls people into it. So we're doing, we've done 4 assessment tools, so learning about yourself and other people.
Right, yep.
So all the stuff you talked about, talent and personality, but also we're getting ready to do an exercise around your interests, skills, passions, what opportunities that creates for you, and then ultimately like your personal mission. And it's they're doing a course portfolio, kind of like a marketing student or a design student would, so that they have a takeaway, and it's all of that stuff we've done. But I view that as critically important, a critically important exercise. That's what we're doing at the very end because I want them to have context. And so all the things you've talked about have been learning about what fuels you, find that cause, go find other people who are your teammates, your tribe.
Yep.
And I don't know if you could just reiterate that, or what are your thoughts on that, I guess?
Yeah, for sure. Finding not only your purpose, but what really lights you on fire, right? Like finding what that is and then building upon that, and letting that be kind of that energy that, like you said, like that's infectious, right? Like people catch on to that and like, wait, what's going on over here with E3? Like, what are they doing? And then people start to pay attention. And then, building that tribe is the idea of a tribe and how social media has been so impactful in being able to build a tribe, being in one location in the world, you can build a tribe that's worldwide.
And go find those people.
And go find those people.
Like Reddit, wherever they congregate, go find them.
Yes.
Which you probably naturally did on the gluten-free side of things, like I need other people that can help me.
Exactly, and that's a tumbleweed effect, once you put yourself in those places where your tribe is. So I think the number one is like learning about what's your passion, what does that look like, and then where do other people like me hang out? Like where do they hang out? And that's part of the reason I mentioned that accelerator program that we did, SKU. That was that, I always felt like that there was something missing, like, why am I always on the outside? Like I wanna be on the inside. I've been doing this long enough, I have value to add, I have experience, I wanna know what the insiders know. And so, which can be scary too, because you gotta put yourself out there. But then, just it's so worth the scariness of putting yourself in a situation that you're really vulnerable. But also it's so exciting too, because then you realize, wait, I'm not alone. There's other people that think like me, that work like me, that want what I want, and that energy is infectious too. I mean, that you talk about like that being a catalyst for showing up more often, can really be powerful. So I've been really intentional about being more active on LinkedIn lately. I've kind of like prior to, the last couple months, probably been more sporadic, but I really leaned into that platform for those same reasons, because that's where my people hang out.
And you're a leader in your sub-industry too, because I see you commenting on other people's successes that are in your space.
Yes.
And so leadership isn't just your company, your team, your...
You know what, that really is important, what you just said right there. So I feel like, although I could look at all the other snacks that are in my space as competitors, I don't, because I am only me, right? I mean, General Mills can make this product, let's be real. It's not rocket science, it's a granola snack, General Mills could look at that ingredient label and reproduce it in a heartbeat. They could. But what they don't have is they don't have me. They don't have my story. They don't have my relationship with my son and my family, and they don't know what it's like to try to feed a busy family, one who has autism, right? They don't know that, they don't have that in their back pocket. And so that's kind of my superpower, so to say, is that I have a story and I've lived a life of what I say. And you know, what's on the package is our autism jobs provider. And my signature is on the back of the package, right? We wrote a little story and signed my name to it. You know, like General Mills can't do that, but I can because I created this product. And I say that, there was a time when I would never say that, like I created this product. I didn't do it alone, right? Because you heard me say early on, I don't like to be in the spotlight. This is not about me, and it's not. Somebody had to start it, right? And so somebody had to come up with the idea. I came up with the idea. I had all these people around me supporting me. You know, our marketing department, our shipping department, our bakers. Like, I couldn't make this product by myself. It's a team effort, and we all have a part. Team Be Free all has a part in the success of Be Free and the story that we continue to tell. And I couldn't stand up here today talking about Be Free if I didn't have an amazing team of people and a tribe of people behind that team of people that shows up and that says, hey, do you know about Be Free? I think they might be really good. You might like to buy that product for your family because it's really good ingredients. You know, the mom started it because she's really passionate about gluten-free for her son. You know, it's healthy. When you get that, people talking about your product and spreading your story, it's priceless. It really is. And so finding where those people are, where they're hanging out and showing up and being authentic, right? And not being a competitor, not being there to, you know, stand out so that you can steal what they know or who they know, but it's really being a community and being there to be really truly supportive of each other, because there's enough for all of this to go around, right? I don't have to compete with the other brands that are in my category. We can all be super successful. We can actually be more successful if we help each other out and support each other. So that's my mentality. That's not everybody's, but that's kind of how I roll. So, yes.
Okay, so why did you choose that specific packaging? Like, I've worked at TJ Maxx, so I've had to stock it.
Okay.
And stocking it is really hard because like of how it's kind of shaped, like a triangle, so it kind of like tries to lean back and then it falls forward.
It's painful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I know. Yes. Okay. So to answer your question, a couple reasons. One, it's in a pouch like this, so that it can sit on a shelf. It also has a hole. They call this a peggable hole, so it can be on a peg board as well too. But we chose this one because the machinery at our manufacturing can handle this kind of a package. So I guess that would probably be the biggest reason. And we didn't have to invest in additional equipment to produce our product. So, and so this, the machinery that packages this, it's kind of like, it's filled at the top like a big hopper, kind of. Have you ever seen like a grain hopper? It's like a big container that kind of comes down to a funnel. And then it has all these, the machinery grabs the package, opens it up. It has like two little, it's really cool. I wish I had a video of it, but it's really cool to watch. Opens up the package, the hopper comes down, it's measured for the weight of the bag, it's 9 ounces. And then it just kind of goes around in a circle, fills it up, pushes it out, goes down a chute, goes through a sealer, and into a box. So yeah, it's mostly due to the equipment that we already own, trying to maximizing that. Yeah. Does anybody else work in a food industry or ever had a job in a food industry? Yeah. Yeah, lots of food people here. Lots of foodies.
So you talked about kind of financial management.
Uh-huh.
And I would say just my observation over the last several years is, I have theories on what has driven it, but it doesn't really matter. But I think we're seeing, and I'm generalizing here, that a lot of students aren't so interested in financial management, even business students.
Right.
And so you talked about how important it is to learn how to be a good steward and how to prioritize and make financial decisions, look at the numbers.
Yep.
Consult with your bookkeeper, with the person who sees it every day.
Right.
It's just something that needs to be stressed, I think, generationally. So have you noticed that, or?
The decrease in it?
Yeah, just like in desire to learn it, desire to practice it. those kinds of
Yeah, maybe not so, maybe I haven't really noticed it, but I will say for me, it's my weakness. So, I mean, like the whole financial part of it, the numbers, not really, my forte. But I will say though, it's vitally important, right? And your business can't succeed and can't continue to thrive unless all the numbers work too. So it's part of why I early on, we got really lucky. We hired a bookkeeper that is more than a bookkeeper. She does a lot of forecasting for us and a lot of analysis and things like that. But I knew we needed somebody really, really good on the financial end of it. So, and I think too maybe that it's, I don't know, it's not as glamorous. I mean, unless you love numbers, which I mean, God love people who love numbers, right? We need them in the world, but yeah. And I think too that it can be the financial aspect of it. The rest of it, it seems so fun, right? I mean, a lot of the parts of building a business and building a brand seem to be really fun and exciting. The financial part, not so. I think it's intimidating.
Yeah. It's where failure would show up. I mean,
Yes, and it's hard to swallow too. So I will say that when we have monthly meetings with our executive team, it's me, Michael, and Eileen, who's our bookkeeper. It sometimes is not pretty, it's just, and it's hard to see that all this hard work, right? You think you should have this golden egg, right? And often it's hard. It's a hard reality sometimes to see it on paper, but it's an important aspect of your business. Okay, here's a question. Does anybody have an idea? I'm sorry, did I miss you? Did you have a question?
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna ask, do you think your sons are gonna take it over? Do you think one of them's gonna take it over? Like, how do you think that's gonna
Well, newsflash to me, August and I have been doing some interviews lately. We were on a podcast the other day, and apparently he wants to take over the business. I did not know that, but that would be really amazing. He's the only one that really shows any interest. The other guys have their own thing, one's in, actually two are apparel design students. One's in France right now. Clay's in France, he's coming home in a couple days. And he's working on his own brand and of clothing, repurposed clothing, upcycle, that kind of thing. And Hagen has a passion for natural resources, so his passion doesn't align with what we do at Be Free. And August, it's hard to say whether he really will stick with it and be at the helm one day, or whether he'll take a sports route and do something in sports. But he could do both, actually. He could do both. So. And it'll be interesting to see what Drake does. He and Hagen are both graduating next month. Any graduates next month? Yay! Congrats! That's so exciting. I mean, I know it's not here yet, but it's close. You're down to the final launch, right? Yeah, that's exciting. So it'll be interesting to see what Drake does. I'm not sure, he's not telling. It's very secretive. I was gonna ask if anybody has a suggestion on our next flavor. So we have salted caramel, chocolate, berry, original, which is honey, mostly honey and almond flavors, apple pie, spicy chocolate. Bless you. Anybody have something that they think, ooh, if you, and for any of you who don't know what this is, it's a cluster style snack. It looks exactly what the package shows that it is. And so it's more like a cookie-like kind of a granola snack. Anybody have a favorite flavor you like? Why don't you make this flavor?
Peanut butter.
Peanut butter. Okay, good one. All right. Anybody else? Peanut butter.
Maple cinnamon.
Maple cinnamon. Ooh, that's good. I better start writing these down. Maple cinnamon. That's really interesting. And or any other products that you think we should make?
See the fact finding going on here?
I
think a good seasonal one would be pumpkin.
Pumpkin, yes, that is one we have considered because pumpkin craze is real. Like it starts in August, doesn't it? Yes.
Do like a cobbler flavor, like any type of cobbler.
Like blueberry, like, yeah, okay. Yes.
Like pecan pie.
Ooh, pecan pie, ooh. That would be named after my dad because my dad, Chuck, pecan pie was his favorite, absolute favorite.
What about like chocolate covered raspberries or strawberries?
You could have like little bits of those in. Yum.
Honestly, two things. I think maybe like a cranberry, like a chocolate cranberry, white chocolate kind of thing would be really good. And then also, so you're in this granola market and like you're trying to like, find a change and stuff. There's a really big portion of people who are, like myself, allergic to tree nuts. So I cannot eat granola, especially granola like that. Like everyone else can eat it. And I'm just like, so
Okay.
So I think maybe if you could find like a way to either be able to like substitute the almonds for like another thing, like cashews, peanuts, or like raisins, or like the cranberry stuff, something else, so that the people that have tree nuts can still enjoy your product.
Good idea. Thank you. Yes.
Like a sea salt dark chocolate.
Ooh, that sounds good too.
A lot of ideas.
I know, right?
Divergent theme
Yes.
here.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, pay attention. If your flavor gets it, I get to name it after you. How about that?
You should like look into making some type of like pie crust.
Oh, which is so hard if you're gluten free. Oh my gosh, pie crust is so hard.
You can do like birthday cake or confetti.
Be fun and colorful, right?
So I have one like for your son, like since he wants to do sports. Fitness is like really huge now. You should do like a post like workout snack or like pre-workout, like stuff like that.
Good thinking, and we actually, we really say that this is a great pre or post workout, but something that was more specific, like for pre or post, yeah, like that with a higher protein level. That's big, so big right now, yeah.
This is a bit of a stretch, but coffee flavor.
Oh, yeah,
Coffee.
yeah, for the coffee lovers, Got it. Look, that's some great ideas.
You could do like chocolate, you could do like banana, peanut butter banana.
Banana's pretty popular, isn't it? You love banana? Well, thank you so much. I have cards. I'll just leave my cards right here. If anybody wants one, you can grab one. They're right there. Please reach out to me if you have questions or if there's anything that I can help you with along your college or your leadership journey. I'm I'm here for you.